Hi guys, so in this video I'll show you how to target your perfect customer with Facebook ads, for any niche that you need, either for your customers or for yourself. So depending on, what niche you're in, or basically even doesn't matter what niche you're in, there are three ways to target people on Facebook. And so this is the framework that I'm using to target. And if you're starting out, basically the easiest way to get started and find some good audiences as fast as possible would be to target competitors. And for example, if you're in if you want to sell some fitness products, you want to find some other competitors that already sell fitness products in the same niche, similar products, that target similar audience. So basically, you reverse engineer and see who they're targeting, so you can get into their pool of potential buyers for your product as soon as possible. The second most effective one is interest, where you target people based on their interest. I'll give you a lot of examples just in a few minutes, but for now I just want to explain it. And the third one is demographic, where you just target people based on their basic demographic data like age, gender, maybe like relationship status, like those kind of things. So let's go through several examples, and I'll also go through Facebook Ads Manager, and I'll show you how to implement those. So basically, important note here: if you have any lookalike audiences, if you have list of buyers or customer list or email list, those are very good audiences to start with. So if you can upload them into Facebook, you can start targeting with those, and usually those work even better than regular interests. So if you have any of those assets, it's a very good idea to start testing with those. Like, you can target audiences like 1% lookalike, 2%, 3%, 5% lookalikes, and a lot of audiences you can create just from your list of buyers. So you can also use Facebook algorithm to help you optimize and find your perfect customers for you. So here are a few examples. We'll do few examples. So let's say you want to target pet lover niche. Let's say you want to sell some product for dogs, and so the brand that is selling those products, I have it here. I can use either the Ads Manager or Audience Insights to illustrate this. So for example, if you type BarkBox, this is the company that sells, as you can see here, that's a company that sells products for dogs. And so this is like, if someone likes this product, if someone likes this website, they're likely to have a dog, because otherwise they wouldn't be interested. That's kind of the website that sells products, and so like targeting that website can be a very good idea. And so, for example, if you know that BarkBox is one of the potential interests that you can target, you can also go in here and find, just go into audience, into Ads Manager, click on suggestions, and there are always some suggestions here that you can go and target. So for example, here we have some other, like PetSmart. As far as I know, this is also like potential competitor for you if you want to sell. Yeah, so pet supplies, it's big e-commerce store. So they have retail, they have online stores. It's huge competitor, and if people are interested in this one, it's also could be a very good interest to target. Another one, Petco. So you can see here, Petco. Yeah, so another one. They also sell stuff online, e-commerce stuff. So you can see, like, these are like good ideas to start with, because if you go below, like here you can see, for example, some like I love my dog page, right? And it's not necessarily bad, but like people who follows this page may not necessarily have dogs, and with BarkBox, they're likely to have more like buyer behavior, or Petco or PetSmart, because they like those stores, and people go to stores, they usually buy stuff. So that's kind of the basically the thought process that you can use as well. Like, what interest would people who are likely to purchase, what interests they would have, like what pets. Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe it redirects to PetSmart. Yeah, so you can see, like, for example, here pets.com, which is a very good domain name, it redirects to PetSmart. So if you can target it here, which is very good, because you get to include all of that audience into your targeting. So that is like for competitors, right? Like in any niche, it's not always that you have those competitors, but if you have them, it could be very, very effective. It could be like lower hanging fruit, and you can just get into the pool of buyers in that niche very fast. If you don't have it, in some niches, these are not available, like competitors, like either a small niche, maybe a small geographic area, maybe it's, your niche is not that present on Facebook, whatever that is, then you can use interests. And so interests, slightly wider. So for example, if you go in here and instead of typing BarkBox, you would just type cats, right? So you can see it's like 266 million people, extremely big audience, extremely, like it's very wide, right? Unless your pixel is super seasoned, or you have very unless you have like very seasoned pixel, or if you selling very wide product, maybe just for cat lovers, I don't know, but it's very wide audience. Like even here with just United States, just 35 to 55, we have 17 million people, which is too wide. So this is interest, and I'll explain how Facebook creates those audiences for you, so you can decide whether those are a good fit for you. Because none of the audiences that Facebook offers you are actually good fit for you. So I'll show you that in just a second. So that's for interest, right? You can use like cat, dogs. Oh, sorry. You can use like cat, dogs. You can use all of those audiences basically in here. And if you target dogs, for example, yeah, so dogs as well, it's too wide, right? It's 321 million people worldwide, I guess. In just United States, 24 million people. It's just too wide. It's just like people who like dogs, people who don't have dogs but just like them, unless it's very, maybe just looking for engagement, then these wide audiences are good. But if you're looking for buyers, it might not be the best audience to target for you. So that is for interest, right? These are wider, these are easier to target, oftentimes because you have more of those options, but these oftentimes not as effective. And then you have demographics, which is even wider. So for example, you know that you want to sell products for dogs, and you know that typically women from 35 to 45 who are I don't know, who are married and yeah, and this is it. Let's say these are women. Okay, these women, women who are married, they like dogs. So you can see this wide audience. It's not as focused, and there is a use for this audience. I'll show you just in a moment. For example, if you're targeting local areas like just city or zip code, like just these very wide audiences usually work well. But oftentimes this is not enough to properly target. So ideally, you want to target your competitors. If not, then you can use Then you can target interests, just generic interests, maybe, you know, also pages maybe that people like I love cats, I like dogs, I like, you know, whatever. And then the demographics, which is even wider, which is even more unfocused. But for small areas, for small interests, these are enough. Or if your product is very generic, maybe you're just selling, I don't know, some generic, maybe, you know, supplement for that everybody can use, like B12, right? But usually, like if you go after certain market, if you're niche down, it's much more effective because your message speaks to direct market, and that is much more effective. So the research for health niche. Let's do the example, right? So here we have the competitor, which is, let's say, this is Dr. Axe. Like, this is not very like Dr. Axe has content on, you know, on different topics. You know, like he sells supplements, he sells you know, information. Like he has a lot of different stuff on different topics. So it might not be also the best fit for you, but if you are also going so if you go to his website, we want to see like what content he has. So health and number one health goal. So he has gluten-free recipes, he has shopping guide, he has natural remedies, panic attack, like all sort of stuff here, right? So it's not kind of like focused on fitness or you know, just like all over the place, because his audience is so huge. So you have a food, you have fitness, so it's not only about something specific, it's about everything. But because he has such big audience, he can be that wide appeal. So, you know, unless you're going to sell also very wide appeal products, that probably is not good fit for you. So what is good fit for you? Let's say if you want like to go after like sell some fitness product, fitness celebrities, you go to Google and you search for fitness celebrities, right? And so let's see, fitness, female fitness Instagram. So let's see which are the top women to follow on Instagram. And so that's how you identify your competitors. And so Christmas Abbott. Let's see what if you can target. Yes, there you go. So Christmas Abbott, right? And there you go. Like you have some more suggestions right here. So Laurent Fisher. Let's see Laurent Fisher. Who is this? And so you can see that is like CrossFit. If that's your niche, that's amazing. That's very good. Very good targeting. Let's see other suggestions that Facebook gives us. So these are guys. Kelly Starrett. Let's say, you know, depending on whether you target females or males. Kelly Starrett. Okay, that's the guy. Sorry, I just saw that. Lindsay. Matt Fraser. Yeah, okay, let's see this one. Jillian Michaels. Let's see, who is this? Okay, seems this is fitness celebrity, right? So so that's a good targeting here, right? So Emily Sky, another one. So you can see these are like Emily Sky. Let's see if that is also fitness. Depending you're targeting females or males, depending who your product is for. Yeah, so it's also fitness. So depending who your product is for, then you would identify the interest here. These are your competitors, basically, right? And so for interest, as you see, like we went through competitors. Now, if you want to target health and fitness, just generic, very generic interest like health and fitness. Health and fitness, right? 887 million people, 70 million in the United States. Bit wide, right? Again, healthy lifestyles, health and fitness, healthy life, weight loss. A bit generic, right? So unless your product is generic, unless that is something that you want to do, then these interests are good. But if that's not the case, just start with competitors and go from there. Build your buyer audiences, build your email list, and create lookalikes out of those, because these work well when you have seasoned pixel. Oftentimes, in my experience, if you have seasoned pixels, you see the seasoned pixel, you can go just health and fitness, and it will work out pretty well. Sorry, I'll just close this one. So, and here, for example, you can just go and target very wide, like 30-45 women, United States. I don't know, like what other demographics? Let's say financial, life event, right? Let's say new relationship, right? Maybe, yeah. So not many people, not many women here have new relationship. In relationship, let's say. So maybe that's what you want to target. But as I've said, like start with competitors, and if you don't have those, go with interest, and if that is not present, then you go with demographics. And a lot of people ask me when whether you should like bulk a lot of like audiences in here, like let's say bulk another, or just target one by one. In my experience, it always was like before it was one-on-one. Now it's like sometimes these like combined work better. When you have a lot of those and you let Facebook optimize itself, it works even better. So you need to really find out for yourself what works better for you. As a starting point, you can like split test each of the interests in one ad set. So then you can see which of the interests gets you the best traction from the start, and then you can start combining those interests that worked out well for you into one big ad set with bigger budget, and just test if that is working out for you. So ideally, the market and message match, if you went through all of the tasks in previous sections, and if your funnel is working well, this will be just like very, very obvious, and you'll quickly find your winning audiences that you can scale with. So if you do the homework correctly, targeting will be easy job for you, and especially if you know your competitors, if you can target your competitors. So that's for health niche. For Facebook ads product, let's say I'm selling Facebook ads product. Sorry, Amy Porter. I don't know how to correctly Porterfield, I guess. So if I would sell Facebook ads product, maybe you decide to sell Facebook ads product, educate other entrepreneurs about Facebook ads, or like use some Facebook ads, or just use Facebook ads targeting, like some people who are like authorities on Facebook ads as your targeting. And so here are some of the options that you can use, right? Like if you go like competitors, you can use Amy Porterfield. You can go and use Joan Loomer. This option is available. Russell Brunson. It's more about funnels here. So if you want to target some funnel specific people, you can target Russell Brunson. Then if you want to go wider, you would go with digital marketing, which is wider interest, which combines a lot of interests. I'll explain in a second how that works. And then demographics, right? Like you would go with, once your pixel is seasoned, you can go very wide. You can go with men 25-55, US, Canada, Australia, UK, and Facebook will pinpoint the people who are ideally, will be your customers. But that happens, when you have wide appeal product, when your message speaks, to millions of people, when your pixel is seasoned. So that's probably not on this stage. Or if your local area is very small, then you just go with very basic targeting, and that is very, that pretty much enough to get you flow of leads and customers for any local business. So basically how Facebook works is there are two types of targeting, right? Like if you go now here, and so for example, if we target cats, right? So we target, let's say, cats. And so you can see here that we have like 266 million people who express an interest or like pages related to cats. So this is very, very wide. This is basically, if you like scroll your Facebook and you like a video that has some cats in them, or it's called like what a cute cat, or whatever, you like it, then Facebook puts you in this bucket and you'll be shown ads for cats, right? Like for this interest, if someone targets cats, that ad will be shown to you. And for example, if you target, let's say, Russell Brunson, right? Russell Brunson. There is basically just one Russell Brunson. There are not many Russell Brunsons out there. So this interest is much more focused. And Facebook knows that this is Russell Brunson. If someone likes some of his posts, if someone watches some of his videos, if someone likes his page, someone likes some of his offers, then they put you in this bucket, and your ad will be shown to people also like in this bucket, right? So this is much more focused. It's like if you focus on some specific people, on competitors, on similar products, softwares, like these are more focused than just generic interests or pages. Maybe even like I love cats, right? I love my cats. It does not say whether whether these people actually have cats. Maybe they've seen some good like video like with cats and they liked it, but they don't actually have a cat. But if people like some brands that sell items, these are more likely to be your ideal buyers. If you're trying to sell stuff online, if you just want to target and get engagement, it doesn't matter. Maybe just interest like cats will work well for you, right? So that's basically how Facebook works. Like they put you in one of those buckets. It's either by Facebook opinion or algorithm, or by your behavior. By likes, by liking if you like, or comment or engage with some of the content of some of the people. They put you in that bucket, and and then when you go into Ads Manager, you have all of these options here available, so you can see if it makes sense for you to target Russell Brunson, or it makes sense for you just to target, I don't know, let's say online marketing online, right? Or let's say digital marketing, which is wider, right? It's much wider. You can see how many people are there. So 35 million, and so Russell Brunson is one of those. Is probably one of those audiences that are in there, because I think they classified Russell Brunson as part of digital marketing. But if you target digital marketing, it takes a lot of money to reach 35 million people. So if you want to be more focused, at least to start with, you can start with people that specifically in your niche, specifically selling products that are applicable to your niche. so you can get through that, like target your ideal customers as soon as possible. So behavior, real world behaviors, that people engage, click, like, that is much better. So here's another example. I will give you another example. So how to do the research for marketers. For example, you want to target marketers, right? People who work in different companies. And so I don't know if you know the software which is called Kiss Matrix, which is used mostly by marketers. And that's pretty like companies with quite a lot of it's not like cheap software, so companies probably with good funding use it, and also companies that use like analytics, like pretty advanced companies, right? So that is a good interest to target if you want to target those people. However, you only have 2,900 people in here. So what you can also find here, like you always use this like suggestions, and it will give you like some great insights here, some great ideas for targeting. So for example, we have HubSpot, which is also marketing software. You can see like it added like 4 million people to my audience. You have Hootsuite, which is also social media software, right? It's also marketers use. You have MailChimp, which is also used by small business owners, marketers. You have Moz, which is used mostly by SEO people. And so you have all of these like kind of options. Like you have Shopify, you have Optimizely, which is used for split testing, also a bit advanced. Infusionsoft, which is also a bit more advanced, right? And so you have all of these. You have Emmy Porterfield again, and so you have all of these options in here. So like for you, when you do the initial like research and you don't know like what audiences to target, you have absolutely no audiences to start with. For you, like the first step would be to go through like just put some suggestions, just put some ideas in here, like maybe some of the like audiences that you think, okay, I know that, for example, Tony Robbins is selling, exactly, like the products that, like people who like Tony Robbins are my ideal target audience. I want to work with those people. So what other people are here? And there you go. You can see like all of these people. Like Facebook gives you all of these other suggestions. And so entrepreneurship, right? Like we have 185,000 people here. Like, and probably people who like Tony Robbins also fall into this bucket. This is much bigger bucket. So you can see these are like different size buckets, right? Like these people are likely to be, like some financial education. And you can see like Russell Brunson more about funnel, Frank Kern about consulting, Tim Ferriss about different life hacks, Robert Kiyosaki about financial freedom. And you can see like depending on your niche, you can always find something that is similar, that might contain people that are likely to be in your niche. And for example, if you would sell product on some financial education, or your client like is financial planner, like people like Think and Grow Rich, very good targeting, rich dad, poor dad, entrepreneurship, law of attraction, small business owners. These are good audiences. Personal development, Jim Rohn. You can see like Eric Lohr, Brian Tracy. Like these are good audiences to test and see, if they work specifically for you and for your product. But ideally, you want to find like 5-10 initial audiences that you can test. And among of those, like you should find at least 1 or 2 that will work out for you, that you can scale to get initial traction, and then out of that you could generate the lookalike audiences, and you can basically scale from there. So another thing, I wanted to show you here the research for dentists, right? Like so. If you work with clients in some local area, not necessarily like nationwide. So let's say you work with clients that is based in New York, right? Okay, New York. Okay, let's say your client is based on Manhattan. I don't know if there are any dentists on Manhattan, but let's assume there are some. So Central Park. Let's say they're based on Upper East Side, right? Let's say their office is in here. I don't know if it would make sense for dentists to have their office in there, but let's say that's where they're based, right? And so you can see, like, if for example your client tells you, all right, basically we you know, basically like our best customers live in like an area of like 1 mile from this, from this place, right? And they usually don't travel a lot because they value their time, and these clients are the best. They have money, they have everything. So you can see here, and he tells you that my best clients are like 35 plus, or even 45 plus. They might need some cosmetic work. Let's say these are men mostly, right? Or like these are women, let's say, doesn't matter. And so there you go. Like, and he tells you all of this information. And so, and you can also specify people who live in this location, people recently in this location, people traveling in this location. So people who live, right? Let's say that's our main like goal. And so you can see the audience here is 67,000 people, which is pretty small audience. Like you can exhaust this audience, like reach this audience with like like 1,000, few $1,000 probably. And you can see like how easy it is with such targeting. You don't have to, like, you can go with dentists, like if they go with up to with bigger cities, but usually you would start with something small, like the area around the practice, so they can just walk in into the practice and get whatever they need, instead of like going very wide. So if you want to go like like white teeth whitening, let's say, if you want to go like more like nationwide, although I don't know if that would make sense, like teeth cleaning, as you can see, like that, these are some interests that already there, so you might test those as well. But in those small areas, like in small geographic areas, it might not make sense at all for you to do, because these are audiences that already small by themselves. You can reach them, exhaust them like in just few days, few weeks. And if you have a good offer, that specifically is designed for those busy people who live here, like if your target client knows exactly what those people want, and can offer them something that is lucrative for them, then everything becomes much easier, because you'll have this limited audience, and you just show them the message that they already want to see. That is that's very very precise targeting. And so in bigger areas, sometimes you might need to add some extra interest or extra demographics in here. Maybe that only married people make best clients. And so you can see a lot of people of those are unmarried, but not everyone specifies that they're married with Facebook profile. So you also have to be aware of that. But anyways, these are very small audiences you can reach very fast. And so that is it. Like people overcomplicate targeting, but usually it just starts with like with easy wins, like other dentist practices. If they're applicable, they would be applicable in in that area. Interest like dentist, Invisalign, just search and you'll have the suggestions here, because these are always changed. If I show you something now, it might not be there like few weeks from now. So you just have to be aware of that. Toothbrushing, right? Dentists, like I don't know, maybe people have been looking for dentists. So you can see even like with those audience, you can even like make it smaller. It should be very refined audience here. So teeth cleaning, like you can even bulk those together and see if they perform, or you can just target the big audience of 60,000 people. So you can see, guys, that is very straightforward and very simple to do, especially if you work with local clients. Targeting is simply not that difficult. Just focus on making good offers that people just would slam through the doors to get that offer, and you'll be successful. That's what we've done in the previous sections of this training. And your funnel also should be very well designed to get people through the door, and then you'll be successful and you'll get as many clients as you wish, guys. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.